All right. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Thanks for coming. Let's see, is Rao here on the call yet?
Yeah, I am. Give me 1 second. I'm going to share the link and then share my screen.
Okay.
All right. So welcome to Community Update 202. In terms of the networks, the status of the networks remains the same. We are still working on bringing the LLBM testnet back up, but all the other testnets are working, and the mainnet is working. In terms of the team's work in the last week, the main focus has been on the leaderless block merge, the design for finalization fringe or calculation for finalization fringe, and to make sure that all the cases that we can think of would fit within that design without any problems. So there was a lot of conversation going on about that, and test cases written up by hand that were being kind of put through that process. Tomislav and Nadzipra have been working on that. And Greg has worked a lot with the team on this in terms of working through the details and verification and so on and so forth. So where we are now is Tomislav and Nadzipra. I think there is clarity and completion on the design at this point in time, but Tomislav and Nadzipra are going to verify one more time to make sure that there are not any gotchas. So they're in the process of doing that now, and then they'll be moving on to coding after that. The design document for finalization fringe calculation and merge logic is at this Google Docs at this point in time. So that you can read through there to see what the math of that looks like. And I would like to emphasize that this is something that no other blockchain has done. This is unique to RChain, and is a explication of the protocol that Greg has reminded us he had been working on for 4 years with Vlad. So take a look at that document. I think that should be enlightening. Then in terms of the code part of that, Nadzipra has extracted the relevant parts from the LLBM branch to be merged into the hard fork 2 branch. And he's looking into some tests there that need to be looked into to see if the tests need to be modified or the something needs to be adjusted in the code to get the test passing. So he's doing that in parallel to this design activity. So I think once this new logic is coded in, the core or main part of the LLBM piece will be done. There are still a couple of activities or tasks there that need to be done for the hard fork 2 branch. One is the analysis of block merge behavior at the time of epoch change, and then implementation of that. That's one part. And the other one is the completion of code to prevent double spending in the improved rev transfer that Tomislav had implemented in a little while ago. So anyways, that's where we are with the hard fork 2 readiness and continuing the work on hard fork 2. Also part of hard fork 2, Dennis has made good progress on implementing the import export using his improved both from a performance standpoint and storage standpoint algorithm for history data. So he is he's getting ready to test that now. Test it both to make sure that all the tests pass, as well as measure the performance with a full node setup. So he's going to be working with Stas and Tomislav on that. In addition, Will has been working on proof of concepts for the improvements to the proof of stake contract. So he has got a couple of PRs in there. Take a look at those. And those are also part of the hard fork 2 changes. Now, in addition to all of this, Tomislav has been of course, guiding the team on their various tasks, but also he has made some improvements to the RChat repo so that Martin, who's been working on the second half of RChat to get the messages from the chain onto the second Zulip server. Martin is working on that task, and Tomislav has been guiding him on that. So this is a way of onboarding Martin and his team to this task. That's where we are with that. Let me see if Stas has been working on a couple of the main feature thing he's been working on was making minimum flow price parameterized. There's a PR for that now. Then there was an issue from a while ago where the default for port for CLI repo client, I think it was defaulting to 40401. So it needed to be adjusted every single time so that it doesn't conflict. So there was a little issue there, a small issue that Tomislav had written up a while ago, and Stas has fixed that, and that's there's the issue, and the PR is over here. So that, I think those are the main highlights of the team for this week. Are there any questions or comments on any of this? All right, over to you, Greg.
Thank you very much. Do we have Daryl on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Daryl, you want to get the week in review?
Sure. Thank you, Greg. So this is the week in review for December 9th to December 15th. Last Thursday at the governance committee call, there was discussion around the co-op's needs for funds from the subsidiary investment offerings. Further discussion was also had around how the subsidiary shards integrate with each other and the mainnet RChain shard. Also on Thursday in the work study, they worked on debugging RGov chat. On Friday in the climate coordination RCast, we discussed rain in Greenland, which occurred this year for the first time in recorded history. We also discussed plant graffiti in Ethiopia, as well as the Wood Wide Web project to map and better understand the world's fungal networks in the soil. And we also talked about the future of real estate and social media. On Saturday in the RGov smart contract call, they fixed chat.ro contract. On Monday in the Casper stand-up, they covered a discussion with the dev team regarding finalization and merge. On Tuesday in the communications working group, we mainly discussed the preparation of marketing materials for investors. We also discussed the stats from the newsletter we sent out this week, the Wikipedia entries that we're working on, and what materials are needed for the Emerging Technologies Investment Forum that in Davos that Greg and Steve Ross Talbot are going to be presenting at in January. Also on Tuesday, yesterday, in the DApp Developer Work Study, they created Rev contribution accounts for the RChain Developer Cooperation and Bootcamp and discussed community-driven multi-sig wallet and the remaining 8K Rev available for offline wallet development. And this morning in the active member hangout, Jim and Theo were discussing RDev cooperation, contribution coordination. Steve Henley talked about how to recover tax losses as the US's vehicle fleet converts to electric by creating a vehicle use tax, and how blockchain could help with privacy issues and transparent tracking issues. A very interesting conversation. And that brings us to now.
Thanks, Daryl. Any questions for Daryl? Okay. So this week's board meeting, we approved the minutes. So I think those links are either up or will be up shortly. I think that we approved 2 different chunks of minutes. So yeah, please, if you're following what the board is doing, that's one of the best ways to do it. We're in the process of negotiating another strategic partnership agreement. I do want to point out to the membership that there are resolutions that govern the strategic partnership agreement and in general what the executive can do in terms of the sale of Rev. And so if you have any questions about that, do look to the minutes because there are resolutions governing that. As a part of this new negotiation, we will be headed off to Davos at the beginning of next year. So excited about doing that. It looks like Steve Ross Talbot and I will converge on to Davos and have some speaking slots there. So any questions about that? Okay, well, it's a bit of a light call today. I don't have much more to talk about. Any questions or comments from the community? Anything you want to talk about? Okay, if you want to find out more details about the new SPA we are working on, feel free to visit us in the closed door session on Friday, where we'll give that conversation, give some of the details about that. Unless there are any other burning issues, please stay safe, stay warm, and we will see you on the other side.